Pat. Come on, Daps.
Alan, I think we're live. I don't know where the intro's gone, but hello, everybody. Yes, welcome to Blues Down Under, episode 16. I'm your host, Patrick, and we've got a nice little... what is it? Rich, what is it when it's six of us? It's not a... Is it a sextet?
Sextet.
Sextet. Yeah, quartet plus two. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a nice little crew going on here this evening. Rich, of course. Alan, of course. You know, we'll get at some point in actually verbally apologise to a certain Italian keeper at some point. Mark's in the building. Daps is our special honorary Down Under guest for this evening. He's just off getting some never a foul duties done. But I wanted to make a special welcome to a very good friend of mine, good friend of Rich as well, and fellow Sydney Blue. Our mate Martin McNeil, you all know as Macca, because I know Martin Horsfield's just going to start raising hell if we have to deal with two Martins on the show. But we've been trying to get him on the show for a while, but we are absolutely chuffed to bits to have him on. We'll obviously be talking about what happened over the weekend, and what better way to have your debut in here than a 3-0 victory in the derby, mate. Great to have you on.
So, well, it's great to be here, and you know, when I think about some of the derbies I've been to, it's not been quite as enjoyable as it was this week. So it's brilliant timing. I think we all had a good start to the week seeing that performance.
Yeah, actually, I just thought I might add on to that as well too, because I wasn't on for post-match from the derby. But yeah, deepest condolences to Ricky Hatton and all the extended family and friends as well. It's a huge loss, not just for the city community, but I think it's a huge loss for the Manchester community as well, because you know, he represented that city as much as he represented the football club, you know, to the best of his abilities. A consummate professional, and from what I've heard too, a wonderful human being. He will be sorely missed. It's funny actually, because I was just looking up just some history of him, you know, over the last day or two, and you know, we're just past 20 years since he actually won the welterweight. I think he was welterweight or light welterweight title against Australian Kostya. I remember that fight, the noise from the MEN arena back in those days too, and you know, just another sort of thing that holds, you know, Mancunians in such high regard, and you know, it's such a sad state of affairs, you know, in the manner in which it happened, and what has occurred as well too. And you know, I probably speak on behalf of everybody else here. It's just like, look out for each other. You never know. You don't let somebody suffer in silence. You know, if you're not too sure, just ask them if you're okay. Talk to them. You know, be a voice, be a guiding, you know, be a guiding light for somebody, you know, because, you know, there's always people out there that are doing it tough, and it's not afraid. Don't be afraid to speak up, or don't be afraid to just ask, whether it's coming from you or it's coming from somebody else. Just take care of everybody. And, you know, we're living in tough times at the moment now. So I think the best thing we can do is just general human nature, and that's just to be looking out for each other. So if you hear anything, if you see anything, you know, call your local lifeline, life support, anything like that, because there are people out there that care. There are people that truly do want to look out for the best, you know, best wishes of everybody. So, yeah, rest in peace to Ricky Hatton, and yeah, once a blue, always a blue. Right now, 5 out of 6 of us were all getting up at God awful o'clock, you know, to watch the game. I admitted to everybody that I'd watched it on replay. You know, 1:30 on a Monday morning isn't healthy for even the best people in the world. But all I can say is, guys, you know, until we play Napoli, I'm milking this for every single. Well, you know, until we play them again in January, I think I'm going to milk every single bit of this. And at first, for me, I was a little bit skeptical, because I thought, how good do we play, realizing how poor, when you realize how poor the opposition we were playing against was.
Yeah, correct.
But I'm kind of the thought that we were willing to compromise on a little bit of control to try and actually, you know, dictate the game, dictate the play, and be a bit more aggressive. And we certainly showed that. There were glimpses there that there were just paces of play, tempos of play that I never saw. I barely saw, even in the first part of the last season, where we actually got a nice little string of games together before, you know, we hit that obvious run of form. For me, there were glimpses there that we had form that was going back to you know, the end of the 4 in a row season, basically, where I just felt there was a sense of almost like we were comfortable, even though it was only 1-0 going into halftime, and we know that we've had some poor performances from similar scorelines over recent months or the recent season and a half. but there was a lot of. I'm looking. The more and more I look back at it now, the more and more I think to myself, like, I was happy with what we did. I didn't really concern myself too much about how much possession we actually had. And overall, I've got to say I am very happy about the performance. There's a lot of things that I saw from this going into, what's going to happen over the next 2 fixtures that really do fill me with a bit of confidence. I'm not saying that we're back, City are back or anything like that, but I feel like this was a step in the right direction. And you can call United poor for all you want. I'm sure they're calling their team poor for all, and we expect them to. But for me, it's like, I don't care how good your form is that if you can get the upper hand on a derby, I think it can send you on the right path to for the rest of the season. Macca, it's your first show, mate. I want to get your thoughts on where you feel from that performance. Where do you think it's going to take us? Do you think there's still a long way to go? What's your overall thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Well, mate, I went in with a bit of trepidation, to be honest, and I often do on Derby Day, because the worst thing is they snatch a last-minute 1-0 win, and that was always the case in the last few games. I was very happy with the press. I thought there was a lot of energy. If I'm really honest, I thought the news about Ricky galvanised the crowd, and it galvanised the team as well. The vocal support was just, it blew me away. And I thought today of all days, there's no way we're going to lose it. I thought Foden was back to his old self, and I wonder if it was a little bit of, I'm going to show people what I can do on a day like this. I thought Cuz had a good game at the back, and that's been our problem position for quite a while. We're still shaky on the break, but you know what? I thought there was a lot of confidence in that side, and they'll take a lot of energy. And if I really think about it, Arsenal couldn't come at a better time for me.
Big shout.
I rate it.
Yeah. Arsenal away. I mean, the thing that fills me with a bit of confidence about that is that I don't think the right idea going into Arsenal would be to try and play control and dominate possession.
Yeah.
Because it takes me back to the treble season at Highbury. I'm sorry, not Highbury, but the Emirates, when we played with what was something like barely over 40% possession. Was it, Dabs?
35.
We were just it wasn't that we needed to be clinical. We just needed to be clinical at the right times. We picked our moments, and I think a team like Arsenal, who have all the confidence in the world and probably justified because they are playing good football over the last couple of seasons. But I think sometimes if you can put phases of play together, maybe not necessarily try and not necessarily beat them at their own game, but sort of play a bit of reverse psychology sort of football on them, I think it goes against sort of the game plan that they're expecting to have.
I will challenge one thing. I don't think it was a game plan to give United 70% possession. I think
I'm not sure on
we
that
had
one as well.
we had we had some brilliant individual performances and a really solid defensive performance, but in midfield and attack we lost the ball time and time again. Now, we won because when we got the ball, we were clinical and we had a lot of great performances. Haaland, one of his best performances for us. Foden played well. Doku played well. But for much of it, they played well as individuals, not as a team. So it was a very unpet performance. We didn't have that much control. We didn't play as a team as well as we could, but the individuals really stepped up and performed. And I did think our defence was as a unit. I thought the back four and goalkeeper played as one, which hasn't happened a lot recently.
Do you know what? I've been having this debate because I was happy with what I saw from our midfield. Now, I know nowadays you have two options. You're either this side or that side. You're not allowed to be in the middle. So me saying I'm happy is, oh my God, Daps, you're saying Man City are back to their best and Rodri looked best. I'm not. I'm saying that I think, for me, that was the best I've seen. And you are right. There was a lot of wayward passing still. But the amount of wayward passing I saw against Brighton and Tottenham was far, far, far worse, right? This is Reinders, Rodri and Foden. It's probably one of their first games together. If not their first game, because they might have maybe had some minutes in the Club World Cup or something. But it's their first game. Foden's coming back from an injury. Rodri's coming back from an injury. Reinders been at the club for 2 minutes. And yes, And also, to be fair to Man United, they were trying to press us the best of they could. I actually think, you know what? I did see some heart from United, and United fans don't want to hear this because they're saying you're patronising us. But I actually do think United tried to press us, and they tried to, and I think they probably did target Rodri a little bit because you would target someone that's just coming back from an ACL. I do think they targeted O'Reilly, and I do think they targeted Donnarumma, and ultimately all three failed. But I also saw, and this is what I liked with the midfield, all of a sudden you saw balance, right? Rodri can sit there, hold, control the game. Reinders can make those runs forward, and Foden, again, playing a bit of a deeper role where some people say, oh no, the best of C. I get it, Foden hitting the box, but the beauty with Foden is he can play a deeper role, but then still crash the box to get the goal that he did. That's what Foden could do. And the other thing I loved is, for the first time, I think I saw triangles in about a year. That our players were starting to form triangles and pop the ball about.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
and I think they've been told to take risks, haven't they, as well? Been told to take risks too.
Yeah,
I think we where we would have passed backwards or kept control, we went for slightly riskier balls as well. Which,
and the ball was moving about
with
a
the
lot
changes
quicker.
we've got.
The ball was moving about a lot quicker, and one of the biggest issues, there's so many issues last year that we could talk about. The one that stood out for me at times was the not winning of second balls, was not winning the ball back within 5 seconds like we usually do, right? And I saw more fight again in the middle of the park. Yes, we did lose the ball a few times, right? But we also won it back quite a few times, and they're the important things for me. So I take positives from it. I'm not here screaming it's the best result ever. I'm not screaming we're back to our best, but fuck, it's a long way further than Brighton, isn't it?
We should have won 5 or 6.
Yeah,
it's a relief.
Go on, Mike.
It's a relief for this week beating them rags. I just can't get over how we've done it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't agree with you about United pressing Donnarumma. I think better teams are going to be even worse. They didn't press as much.
Oh no!
I don't think they did at all.
We
played good against 2 shit sides.
But Governor, you've just done it. You've just literally done what I said people are doing, right? That you're saying I said that they pressed them well. For me, I think that was quite a good job by Manchester United to press me, and I totally agree with you. I think other people will press more, but I've seen United.
That's right.
I've seen United teams that don't press one bit, just sit in their own half, right? And we've seen that probably for the best part of 10 years. We've seen a United team that usually sit back and don't press us at all. I do think that was United to the best of their ability trying to press us.
Yeah. I'm not putting it down. I'm not putting the win down. I'm not putting the win down. But we've had 2 good performances against 2 shit sides. Now, I'm not going to put it down, but the team played well on the day, right?
Yeah,
they did. In the week, we'll see different kettle of fish in the week. Arsenal will be the test again.
Yeah.
But the guys played well.
Napoli. It's Napoli first, boys.
Yeah.
So it will be a test. They're a decent side. I thought I was nervous before the game started, like you always are in a derby game.
Yeah,
I was desperate for the result, and we got the result because I couldn't believe how shit United are. They are shit.
They are. Yeah, they're shit.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I was impressed with the energy of the team. I think you are right. Unfortunately, the death of Ricky Hatton did inspire us a little bit and make us play a lot better. I mentioned this to Daps before. The biggest difference I thought the City was Phil Foden. The link between the forward and the midfield and the forward line was huge, and that energy was brilliant. I'll be honest with you. I thought that GG did well, so I will say that he did well.
That's difficult for you to say that, isn't it? Though I can
it
see
is. I will advise.
And just for the record, Alan, it's mi dispiace.
Right. Okay.
That's I'm sorry in Italian. So
I'm not going to apologise to him, but Mancini's protege I will say that he did well. I thought that because the fullbacks did very, very well. They did the job they were asked to do, because they're not, both of them are not fullbacks. I would accept that the fullbacks need to stop diving in, because when they play against better players, they're going to expose them if they do that and get a few bookings and all the rest of it. But they did the job. They did the job. Looking back, good Daffy trying to
Alan, if that was John Stones that dived in, would you be saying it right now?
But he wouldn't dive in.
I don't know. I can't lie. To criticise a player in the derby for fucking diving in after the amount of times it worked, I'm here for it, man.
All right, well, that's fine. It's fine. He did well. They all did. There wasn't one player that didn't do well.
We want more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want more of it. And I'm happy overall, because we won 3-1. And we'll be honest with you, we needed that win.
Yeah. When did they score?
You know what
changed the score.
You know what annoyed me? You know what annoyed me in the first half? When Cuz went in for that tackle and Diaz went over to him and he said, calm down on your tackles. And I thought, Diaz, you should be doing that yourself.
That should have been, yeah. See, this is what I said.
You're telling him to calm down. Get stuck in.
My whole thing is, right, the way that partnership, I think that partnership should work, would be that it should be, if either of them are going to go to ground first, it should be Ruben Diaz, right? Because, like, Polpy made a really good point yesterday that there will be some games where Diaz might go to ground and go too early and not bring the player down. The player will just get round him and be through on goal. Now, that should be where Diaz is going to ground, because Kuzanov then has the recovery pace to cover him. So that's how it should be working. It should be Diaz coming in and flying through. I agree with you on that. I don't want Kuzanov to change.
But Diaz can't get there quick enough as Kuz can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Bernardo, he came flying in behind Bernardo, you know, and Bernardo looked at him like, Jesus.
I think we need a bit of that physicality, though.
We need.
I think we need that physicality.
Yeah, I've said before, right? If you look at back in 2011, we had Vieira, like the captain, right? He didn't even need to do much, right? You had Zabaleta, Kolarov, Company, Lescott, Nigel de Jong, right? I don't know how many players I've listed there, but you don't want to meet them down a back alley at all, right? Kuzanov's bringing a bit more physicality, because everyone's saying, a lot of teams are saying City don't look physical at the moment. To have someone that all of a sudden looks physical again, alongside Donnarumma, that it makes people start to fear us that little bit more again. I think we need it. I'm here for it. Look,
it's one of the first names on the team sheet now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. And look, whatever you want to say about Otamendi, he's our general, right? We call him fucking general for a reason. He loved going to grounds. He loved flying in on people. So for me, I'm here for it, man. We need more of it. Look, we've got
Otamendi was shit.
Huh?
He wasn't. He wasn't.
No, he got stuck in.
We've had this argument for a decade.
Why isn't your Mancini scarf on, Alan?
Sorry, did you just say Otamendi was shit?
Yeah, he spent more time on his arse.
Hold on.
Yeah, Alan, he got stuck in, but he was slow.
Let's have it right, yeah? Seriously. Fucking first and foremost, we don't talk about our players that we refer to as generals as shit, right? Secondly, he actually made Premier League team of the season as a centre-back, right?
Well, thirdly, in the Centurion season.
I can't put the scarf on for Otamendi as an RG.
Right.
And La Liga.
You can't be argy without some barging. You can't be argy without some barging. That's how it is.
And then we go and look at what the fucker does for Argentina still to this damn day. Yeah, I don't know how old he is, right? To say
everyone's
that
getting on you,
Alan, I kind of now understand why you might say, because you and Martin, I'm going to leave in a
DJ M1, what do you want about?
I know you and Alan are going to have an argument about Kuzanov. Well, I believe Martin now. I said I actually believe you. But now, after listening to you say that you think Otamendi is shit, you probably did say Kuzanov shit. You probably did. Anyway, listen. Love to all of you. Not great, Maka.
Where's Martin?
Otamendi
is shite.
And you lot have a good show, man. And
take care, Daps.
catch up with you all
Cheers,
soon.
Dabs. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Love.
See you, Dad.
See you, Jordan. See you, mate.
The thing is, Al,
Thanks,
he
mate.
did have his moments, that's for sure. He got the nickname the General, but every so often he was a corporal.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wolves away. Fucking Nora. When we lost a 2-0 lead, and he just dived in at every time, every occasion, and fucking lost the ball. Oh, my God. It was an accident waiting
Alan,
to
he got it
happen.
right many more times than he got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a career up there.
But,
with any
listen,
defender in the world.
He's still going.
All right.
World
Well, I'm
Cups,
going to
titles in
mention
multiple
it now because
countries.
Alan's been kind enough to put his Mancini scarf on. We're going to talk about the Italian elephant in the room, the 6'6" tall Italian elephant in the room, and that is Gigi Donnarumma. Now, before we get on to hopefully getting Alan to have a moment of clarity and actually apologize for what he's been saying over the last couple of months, can I just say that yes, you're not getting Edison in terms of a ball-playing goalkeeper.
No,
but
you're
you
not.
are getting a hell of a presence in goal now. Can I just
That's
say
right.
how refreshing it was to see so many punches, so many catches, so many clearances from set pieces, such a presence, such a dominance around the box that yes, you got that from time to time from Edison, but not in that sort of manner in a way. And to do it in your debut in Derby and then to do the slide in front of the away fans and that, it's just like you've set yourself up. You set yourself up for your career here in one game. And that's the thing. It's like even if he was to go, even if we were able to sell him to Saudi for millions or something because Trafford's good enough to come in and become, look, I'm feeding Alan's wet dream right now, but Trafford's good enough to become our number one. That guy's going to be, the way that the projection for this guy, he's going to be set as a cult, worst case, a cult hero now at Manchester City for years to come for what he did. Not just for that with the sliding, but also too, like to have that sort of a presence in your first game being a derby at home. You just set yourself on your way. You've set yourself on your way for your City career.
Yeah. He didn't shut up all game. He engaged with the fans. He engaged with all the other players. He was constantly telling people what to do and being part of the team. And the difference is I think Edison become quite silent. He did his thing, but not really ever ordering. Whereas Donnarumma looks like he's come to, be one of the captains and make a difference to the other players by how they position. And they seem very confident with him. That was what got me, was that, I felt the defence looked lacking in confidence with Trafford in the game against Spurs. I just felt every time they looked like they were on edge, whereas this time they look confident. And I think that's probably partly Donnarumma's personality and his engagement with the defence. But I also think us having 3 proper defenders playing instead of 2 proper defenders makes a real difference. So I think that solidified us across the back, having Kuzanov not having 2 midfielders at fullback. So I think those 2 things bode well because we're going to have to build from the back to get back to where we want to be.
The thing is, Rich, do you think we should keep the same defence even against Napoli? Don't be changing team. We've got to get stability at the back. Why don't we keep the same defence?
I will say this, mate. Right, after 70 minutes of that game at the weekend, our players were blowing and they looked tired. Right, to play 3 games a week when we're only doing pre-season is going to be too difficult for a lot of the players, and we may get injuries. So we have to. To me, on Thursday, I think we're going to have to rotate some players in and out. I'll be honest with you, because we've then got a game on the
That's
Sunday.
a given. Everybody's playing at about 60, 75 minutes right now. Yeah.
You've got to think
that's
about
a given.
Hang on, the players were blowing at 70 minutes. And you
I agree with you, Alan, but I'd still want to play fit players.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, mate, you can't, there's no way you can play the same team in 3 games in a week. No way. Not at this stage. Not the way we've been.
I know, but you're giving the other players time to get fit, and you can just tweak it. Bring 1 in at a time when they are fit. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Well,
I know what you're saying, but let me just say, Bernardo was fucked for 70 minutes. Rodri was definitely screwed after 70 70 minutes, right?
Yeah.
He was blowing. I think everyone saw that.
Yeah, that was the most I've seen him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was tired, right?
He looked like he'd run the Grand National.
The last 15, 20 minutes, we went really deep because we were tired. Because we were tired.
Well, you know what he did? Second half, Pep. He went 5-4-1.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He changed, and I could see Foden saying, "Pep, where do you want me?" He said, "You just stay up front."
Yeah,
he was the one,
and he was, he did the right thing. But United had probably nearly all the ball majority of that second half and did fuck all with it.
Well, we'd done the damage.
We'd done the damage. If we'd have been only 1-0 in front by, let's say, 70 minutes, it'd have been hard, really difficult to get a result. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
but we were 3-0 up. I just think we've got a tough game on Thursday, and literally the turnaround and having to get down to London as well is going to be difficult for the lads. So he's going to have to rotate.
But I think there'll be a bit of rotation. I think Bob will come back probably for Bernardo against depending. Bernardo's not going to play both. Depends whether they want him for Arsenal or for Napoli.
So
I suspect Ake will play one of those games. Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think Ake will definitely play.
Ake will play a game.
Yeah, give you
I
that.
think Napoli's a good game for Ake to play in.
Yeah.
Yep. I know Reinders was poor in parts against United, but you think playing Italian opposition would be a good game for him? The only thing that concerns me with Napoli is that they've got the players that can not necessarily have to not play Serie A football, where they might give you a little bit more space, which is part of the reason why we thought Reinders was a little bit poor over the weekend, because he was playing like he thought he had more time on the ball when he was just getting ambushed quite a bit. But I think with Napoli, we need to be careful that they're not going to play the Italian style. They're obviously going to try and dominate tempo and things like that, but at the same time too, they are going to put a lot of pressure on us with that press as well. I think midfield core that they have too is going to be strong as well too. But the good thing is we know who they are, and we know how to play against them as well.
Yeah,
they've got players that can hurt us. They've got players that can
What about how far is Aït-Nouri away? Because is all right going to play against Arsenal?
I've heard 4 to 5 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks.
Quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
Ake, they'll play. I think they'll play Ake against Arsenal because I think he's our best one-on-one defender, and he'll be up against Saka. So I would have thought.
I don't think so. I don't know if Saka will be ready. He wasn't even. Saka wasn't even on the bench.
He's injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depending
Why
on
is
who
everyone
they're
scared to play the same way? I'm going to ask this because I feel like everyone's gone a bit negative because of the style of play. You ever thought maybe we're just not going to get that style of play anymore because we don't have the players?
No, it'll lead to. I think he wants that style of play, but one we're not 100% fit yet.
What did Pep say on Friday, Alan? And I will address your Mendy and Kushinov bits in a minute because Tone, and I will name him because I've had permission to do. You shouldn't be texting Tone silly stuff because he sends me the exact same messages back, sunshine. So don't you be telling him lies. Don't you be telling him I'm trying to was he said. Right. I will just put it this way. I don't think we've got the players to play the way everyone is wanting us to play right now. We haven't got KDB anymore. You've got an unfit Rodri that is coming back and needing to come back. Yeah. We haven't got a right back in the club. People don't want Nunes. They don't want Louis. They don't want blah, blah, blah.
We all want Kushinov. We're fine.
I will adapt. Yeah, Perhaps exact words on Friday. I will adapt to the players. Maybe this is adapting to it. Maybe this idea of 90% possession and blowing teams away is going to be doing it. Liverpool have done this for years, and everyone said it was fantastic football. Now we do it, we get a bit umming and ahhing about it.
That's why I'm asking for a bit of stability, Martin. That's all. I'm asking for stability because it is different the way we're playing.
I think
you know what I mean?
Do you think it's different? Asking for stability for not having the resources that we used to have, though?
I disagree with Richard on the same. We played bad on Sunday. I don't think we did. And I don't think
I did not say we played badly.
I'm not doing this United crap. We
I
made
did not.
They are crap.
I didn't say that. I said I thought City individually. City individually played really well, but they didn't necessarily play really well as a team. They lost a lot of possession to United when they weren't trying to lose possession to United because the passing wasn't
I totally agree with you,
clear.
Rich.
And I think the game we're aiming at is probably halfway between where we are now and halfway and where we were. I think we'll be aiming to play with more possession, but higher risk, quicker, probably getting 55, 60% possession, not 75, 80.
No. Why does it matter? Liverpool came to the Etihad last season and had their lowest possession in 20 years and dicked all over us.
Yeah, we're not. Pep isn't Liverpool. I'm
why
not
is he
saying.
not? Hang on, but why?
Because he's not.
Guardiola football.
No, because I think Pep will want. I think Pep will want us to have control and possession, but faster. And he knows that we're not ready for that. It's going to take months and months to get back to the way Pep wants us to play.
You also said we won the game by individual.
But Martin, most seasons we
disagree with that.
Martin,
I think we did play as a team.
The last 3 or 4 seasons, we've changed the way we play early in the season, and you said we've changed the way we played now for good. We've then refined it, and by the end of the season, we've gone back to playing a game closer to what Pep likes. And I think that's going to happen again.
I didn't say
I think that's going to happen again.
I didn't say for good. I said for now. Maybe it's this season.
We're going to change week by week. We're going to work. We're going to work to where we want to get to.
It was not individuals. We were hunting in packs. We were going in groups of 2s and 3s, closing them down. We were like hyenas on Sunday. That's not individual. That's not individual brilliance. That's teamwork and team effort.
Let me see. It's all right, man. Let me see if I can just start him up. Let me see if I can just see if I can just get the fire started. Timing's the key, I think.
No. I'm in a rant.
I'll be ranting when I'm saying I told you so in 3 months.
Yeah. Everybody's on told you so standby at the moment. Ozzy, good evening. How are you, mate?
Welcome to Macca and Governor. I've not spoken to Governor properly before, but Macca, welcome to the channel.
Thanks, mate. Nice to be here.
I am going to expose Alan's text messages, don't you worry.
Go on! Let's have an argument. Come on.
Oh, dear.
Alan messages that many people. He forgets who he messages and what he messages.
He has a habit of sending the wrong messages to the wrong people as well, too. Yeah. It all comes with age. Put your scarf back on.
I was watching Rodri in the midfield in the first half, and I was watching him after he made the mistakes, and he had his head down right away, and he was shaking his head every time he did it. He knew, but I always watch him after they've played the pass, and he knew his head was shaking. He had his head down, but he came good in the end. But like you say, hunting in packs, they were blowing at the end. You know, I thought
but they need to. I mean, how they need to blow like that to get match fit. You know, we started without a pre-season. We've got a lot of games like that to get match fit, and I think probably other teams did that blowing on the training pitch before the season. We're having to do it during the season. So, yeah, I mean, Rodri I haven't seen him look that tired ever. You know,
Reinders is still finding his feet as well, and he's not wanting the game at all, really.
Yeah,
he thinks it's Italy still.
He's not used to the pace.
It's like we'll never. It's one of those things that's like we won't know until we know with Rodri. It's once we know when he gets into full fitness and the form again, you'll know. It's one of those things where you can't explain where it's like he's 1 game away, he's a week away, or something like that. It's like there'll be some game, and all of a sudden he'll make a certain play or a certain run. You know, or cut out a midfield or something with a certain pass or something like that, and that's when you'll know that this is back to Ballon d'Or Rodri, who's just reading the game and playing 4D chess compared to everybody else, basically.
But even
we all will never know when it'll happen. You will know when you're watching it live, you'll see it straight away.
Pat, even look at a half-fit Rodri. We did not see last season without Rodri the amount of times
I
the ball
agree
went
with you,
straight
mate.
through the middle. We didn't
Yeah.
see. We haven't seen that in any of the games Rodri's played, and he's not sharp. He's not not able to collect the ball and pass it in 0.5 of a second if you like he wanted to, but he's better than what we had previously, even fully fit. So he makes a difference.
The one thing he's not doing, Rich, is hiding. Even when he is making the mistakes and he's got his head down, he's straight back. He's looking for the ball. He wants to make a difference, and he knows, mate. You think about the standards he sets himself, and he'll come off that pitch and he'll be happy with the result, but not with himself. And mate, when we get him back to where he was, he will just go. He will go big time.
Stepping stones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's got the biscuits? Who's got biscuits?
Oh, I wish.
Why do you want one?
At least it's not crumpets.
Yeah.
Packet of nuts.
No biscuit there. Biscuits with his himself.
Yeah.
Good lad.
Coffee for
Well, conversation's riveting here. It's not about biscuits.
But,
Yeah. Thanks for joining us,
Haaland,
man.
when he come again, hey, Haaland on the. If you got to feed him, every time you feed him, it's going to come in it. Do you know what I mean? He missed that sitter, but
It was very lively. Foden helped big time.
you know who
You know
was our
what's
best
really impressing
defender?
me this season, Mark, with Haaland is that leadership. He's taken into that captaincy team and just absolutely run with it. Small sample size, 4 matches, but my God, this guy wants to. He's turned another leaf in terms of rather than just being the guy, the front man, who just wants to score everything. He actually wants to be involved with everything the squad's doing. I think he's developing as a player, but as a person as well too. And just little things in that game. Little things in that game. It's like the thing that stood out for me. Never mind the 2 goals. Was he was at the start of the second half? He was our best defender.
I just saw the word out of my mouth. He was our best defender.
That first 5-10 minutes, he was unbelievable.
He won everything in the air.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't Haaland, it was Gigi punching him out.
Yep. Erling Haaland, the false 4.
And I love the fact that he at the entry at the end, he spent his time talking about Foden and Gigi. He when he got man of the match, he said he thought it was probably Gigi's, but he talked up Foden and how important Foden was. So he's really kind of embraced the team, and I think he played a part. Seems that he was briefing that he wanted Donnarumma at the club as well, and he was chatting to Donnarumma during the process of signing him. So I don't know if they're mates or how they'd know each other, but they were.
Didn't you say on That's a Show, Martin? You think someone said they think it was because of the when they were playing international at youth level internationals. Because Haaland would have played tons of youth Euros and internationals against the Italian youth team. Because Donnarumma, I think, has been representing his country since he was about 14 or 15 years old.
Form of same agent as well.
Yeah,
that's probably
definitely know each other. They were pretty familiar after around the game, and a lot of liking each other's stuff in the summer, and apparently conversations.
Can I just mention the first goal?
Are you making allegations there, Martin?
Can I mention the first goal? The only time we've seen Doku on the right is for the goal. And then he went back forward to the left.
Never mind, that's the second goal. Never in a million years did we think Doku would feed a ball through an assist for Haaland.
For Foden's goal, it was on the right.
Yeah, it was a mad.
Yeah, he drifted over for the ball.
Madness.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. Why don't you just stay there?
But I think it shows how dangerous Doku can be. That his pace off a standing start and his strength at holding the ball, it is incredible. So we just got to figure out how to use him best, because he has a superpower that I don't see many other players, if any, in the Premier League who can go that quick.
His game's changed from last season.
And go both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
His game has definitely changed from last season.
Yeah, small sample size, but yeah, you got to think there's a lot of positives to take from what we've seen so far. Anyway, Martin, Napoli, tough game as we know, not just because of who we're playing, the players too, but I think Antonio Conte, he's back at Napoli for another season, isn't he?
Yeah.
What are you expecting from them? Because we talk about what Serie A teams do. They try to dictate the tempo of a game. Very tactical. We'll happily sit for 85 minutes and then try and find a moment to try and get the winning goal or the moment that gets them a victory or something like that. I think I'd said. I think there was a time where I was thinking maybe someone like Tijani Reinders should definitely start this game. But I mean, given what you'd said about how he certainly took a bit too long on the ball, he was getting ambushed a bit by the press, a little bit in midfield. Would you play someone like him? I mean, you think his experience against Napoli would be, you'd think it'd almost be a shoo-in a way, but I don't know. It's certainly going to be a much different challenge to what we had against United, and it's probably going to be a very different challenge to what we'll have against Arsenal. So I'm not too sure yet how I feel about coming up against Napoli, and it's one of those fixtures where I probably look at it and I'm like, in terms of the Champions League, if we actually do want to have a good group stage this time, I'm kind of glad that we're playing them at the start, not playing them, have to play them in match day 6 through 8.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard not to play him, won't it, against Napoli?
Well,
yeah.
I think Napoli will be hard. It's the one who played 3 games, conceded 1 goal, top of the league. I think they're a very organised team, very stubborn team. I think they're going to be more like Arsenal than they will United in the way they defend at the moment. Conte is a good manager. Now, he's not the best in the Champions League, we know. We have to take the emotion out of the game regards KDB. I know everyone will put the emotion there and everyone will make it a big homecoming, but with due respect, we can do that after the game. We can give him a round of applause after the game.
I do think this is going to be a tougher game than we might think.
Yeah, it will be. I think there's a bit of a. I don't know what it is. I feel. Daps said it as well. I feel very disconnected with the UCL this year. Maybe when we get into it, we're further down the road and things may change. But right now, and I think you can tell by the ticket sales, there's a bit of a disconnect. There's thousands of the buggers still left on Thursday night. So if anyone wants to get down there, they are on sale still, loads. They're just, I don't know. I seem to have my focus at the minute is more on domestic. Than it is Champions League. And maybe that's wrong, I don't know. I just one of them, I want to get our stability back, our winning mentality back. And this is going to sound crazy to many people, and I said it last night. I've got the Carabao Cup higher than the UCL at the minute for me.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Not a disrespect down to the
good
UCL.
Shout. I think it's time we got back to winning that again.
Of course I want to win the Champions League, but I want to get these new players used to winning trophies, that winning mentality, getting to finals again. I don't think we're ready to get to a Champions League final. Now, yes, you can fluke your way, get your way, somehow get your way into a Champions League semi or a final. I know you can, but I'll be honest, I think if we played some of the Europeans' best right now, I don't think we're ready for it.
Yeah, except for the fact, Martin, I'd say at least half the time the best team doesn't win the Champions League. The best team always wins the Premier League, so that is a far harder test. Very often the best team doesn't win the Champions League. Sometimes a team wins the Champions League, probably not in the top 10 sides. I mean, Chelsea.
Rich, I think the Champions League is determined by who has the best form from February onwards.
Yeah, and you draw,
that's it.
So I'd like us to really have a go at it, because in a funny sort of way, I think we've got more chance of winning the Champions League than winning the Premier League. Although we're going to get the treble, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I do agree with what Martin said. I like the idea of going back to what we did in Pep's first couple of seasons, where we we focused on the Carabao because we knew everybody else wasn't, but we used it as a chance to launch the remainder of our season. And I think now, given the way that we do play, we know that we're only half the team we are until we hit about January, February. When we hit that form, and coincidentally, it's always at the same time when we usually have a cup final, that's when we really know it's like, okay, are we in striking distance of Liverpool, Arsenal, whoever's going to be top of the league? Then you sort of go from there.
We need to sign a right fullback in January then. We're going to stand a chance to win that.
Going back to Napoli.
We need a right fullback to win the Carabao Cup.
No. I don't think we'll win.
We didn't need a left back to win 4 in a row, mate. Yeah.
No, didn't need any fullbacks to win the Champions League. But
yeah.
Going back to Napoli, I was talking about stability. So I'll go against that. Would you save Rodri for Arsenal and put Nico in there for Napoli?
Yeah.
Yep.
Definite.
I have no problems with any experimentation against Napoli because again, it's like you're not getting knocked out of the group stage just for a loss in week.
They're not pushovers, though.
Match day one. You're not.
Yeah, I think Elliot's right. I think Bob's probably going to play against Napoli and Arsenal. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I think we'll probably play Gonzalez, Nico, and Reinders against Napoli, and we might then see Reinders rested against Arsenal and Nico and Rodri playing then, potentially.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Could you see Bernardo playing? Could you see Bernardo playing all 3 matches at the moment, knowing that he'll definitely get a rest against Huddersfield?
No.
He won't start one of those 2. I think he'll start one, not the other.
What about 60 for both?
Can't see it.
I think he'll drop in for one of the games.
I don't know. I just think with these 3 fixtures, I think there's a case of a lot of 60-30s. You know, if one player gets an hour, then he's only going to get 30 in the next fixture.
But it depends on the result in the game, doesn't it? If we're comfortable in the win, if we're comfortable, then you can change and bring them on for that half an hour. Depends on how the game's going.
Yep. I just think the lack of depth with injuries and that is going to force Pep's hand to do massive rotations, even despite whether we're 2-0, whether we're 3-0 down or 3-0 up. I still think it's going to be we're still going to have to require to rest players at the right time. I don't know. Yeah.
If we're winning, don't risk it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but yeah, I'm just at the thought that this point in time right now. Sorry, I was just going to say at this point in time, these players, if they can get a week off, that's going to feel like as if they never needed to go out for like international break at the moment. And I think, against Huddersfield, I mean, I'd be confident we could probably put half the academy out there and probably still get a result. So I think that week, if you can focus your resources on what we're doing this week, I can't see any problem with rotating a lot of your core players out until the following weekend. And even then, it's the following weekend, I think, it's Burnley, isn't it? Burnley at home. You could even do further rotation if you really wanted to truly rest players.
Against Huddersfield, Mukasa will be up front. Definitely.
It's a good shout. I'd be up for that.
Trafford will be in goal.
Yeah. Mukasa will definitely be up front.
Yeah. I honestly, I expect we'll see 3-4 changes for Napoli, and then 3-4 changes from Napoli for Arsenal. So maybe 4 players have started all 3 games, and 7 or 8 of the players have started 2 of the 3. Depending on fitness, age, everything else. Yeah. But I think the Bernardos and Rodris are going to get 2 games. They're not going to start all 3.
No. I wanted to go back to what we're talking about with Rodri being targeted as well. And it actually takes me back to when he got injured against Arsenal. They definitely targeted him in that game as well too. Do you think I'm a little bit concerned they might try and do the same thing to him again on the weekend? Because I mean, it kind of worked. It kind of worked for him in a way until Trossard got the red card, if you remember.
Yeah, but I think that was rushing him back from an injury where he hadn't trained till about the day before the Arsenal game, and he was rushed back in. His knee was deemed past fit at the end of April. He played last season, remember, against Bournemouth. He was deemed that his knee was fit. So it's not the same situation. It's 5 months post the knee being, and 6 months since he was back in training with the ball. So I don't think it's quite the same now as it was when he came back after the Euros, which was like he hadn't trained and he was rushed back in because we thought he was too important.
No. Look, at the end of the day, we should be, just appreciate and enjoying, what we had last weekend. But I don't know. It's tough because we always have these discussions about getting the fixtures every 3 days, and we're halfway through September and we're already up to that. Basically. So I don't know. It's like, Ozzy, what do you think, mate? Like it does concern me that the lack of depth is like, oh, here we go again. It's deja vu from last season. But do you think it's important to just rotate players regardless of what scorelines are or how we're playing in certain fixtures?
It depends on the fixture. I mean, I'm just going to go back to the weekend game because I've not really said a lot. But for me, the weakest part of that game from a City point of view was our midfield. I mean, Rodri and Reinders were not up to scratch. They're both losing the ball several times. Foden was a shining light in that midfield. But I think it comes down to match sharpness for Rodri. He's still coming from the other side of this injury. He's still trying to find his rhythm, find his tempo. Reinders is new to the league. We know that he's an excellent player. He wasn't named last season as Serie A's best player for nothing. And we've seen glimpses in the Wolves game, well, more than glimpses in the Wolves game of how good he is. It's just him getting used to this league. He hasn't got time to do the adult on the ball, like he had in Serie A. So that's the thing that worries me when it comes up against Arsenal, is because they have got a squad that's been there, done it for a while now. They've got the players and they've got the experience, and that's something that I think we are just slightly lacking at the moment, is that rhythm. And it comes down to new players coming in. It comes down to us not having the pre-season that we all would have liked because of the World Club Cup and everything. But there are some excellent highlights from the game at the weekend. For me, Donnarumma was absolutely world class. He showed that. It wasn't just the saves he pulled off, but it was the way he commanded his area. He absolutely put in a man of the match performance. Cousin off at right back. Now, we'd all been calling for it. We'd all been saying that, we want to see it because at the end of the day, I like Nico and I like Rico. Nico, I think we all know he's not a right back. He's a young kid that I think has got a lot of promise, a lot of talent, but he's no right back. Nunes has always got a mistake in him, especially in big games. At the end of the day, I want someone who's solid at defence.
Yeah.
I want someone with that pace that can get back, like we saw with Walker in his heyday. We've got Nori who can flight forward and create and help in the attack. We don't need another attacking fullback. I want to see a partnership of whether it's Diaz and Stones or it's Diaz and Guardiola. I want to see a solid back four with a commanding keeper, and that's what we've got right now.
Or Guardiola and Stones.
Yeah. Or even Kuznov. That's just for me.
We know he's going to move. We know he's going to continue moving him around until he finds the right formula at the start of the new year.
But I think it's important he gets the game time. Do you know what I mean? I know there's been concerns about his rash challenges at the weekend, like sliding and everything, but he got them all right. I know people are questioning saying he does that in a big game. That could cost us. Well, he's got to learn. And so far, he didn't put a foot wrong for me in that game. So I think he needs to continue at right back. He's got, you've got to give him the chance.
Yeah,
that's right.
So for me, yes, you can probably come the Napoli game. You can make certain changes. I think you can rotate the squad a little bit. But I do think you've got to try and keep that team together. I think you can probably take out Bernardo Silva because he needs the rest. He has got the legs, But I think the game we need to concentrate on is Arsenal.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's right. I agree with you.
Elliot's got a question for. Oh, hang on, Martin. You're okay. Elliot's got a question for us. Left back question. Ake or Riley? Who would you start? Which game? Macca, what do you reckon?
Oh, mate, I think I'd have Ake in for both. If I'm honest, if he can play both, his level of experience for me on these two big games. I know we're probably all thinking the same. It's the first game in the Champions League, and is it all that important? It's important to get a win. It's important to get the points. But if we don't do it against Arsenal, that puts us really on the back foot. So I'd be the same as Ozzy. I'd be looking to say, look at some of these senior players and put them on the bench, because we saw the state of Bernardo. I mean, for me, he had an interesting game. I don't think he had a magnificent game, but he worked his socks off. Rodri quite clearly worked his socks off, but they were knackered. So you can't afford to have them out on Wednesday, and then you can't afford to have them in on Wednesday and then out on the legs on Sunday.
Yeah, correct.
And I think perhaps, Mackie, you have to look at them together. Like, for me, if we're going to rest Rodri against Napoli, then we probably need Bernardo playing against Napoli, because I think his tactical experience can help out Nico. So in a way, I think whether Rodri plays will determine, to me, whether Bernardo plays, because I think if Rodri started against Napoli, they'd rest Bernardo. But if Rodri doesn't start, they need his experience. So I think they're going to have to make up, they're going to have to pick who the most key decisions are. And I think Rodri's going to be that first decision. I reckon Haaland might start, for example, all three. I think, it might well be, he comes off and he plays 70 minutes. But I think Rodri, Bernardo, and then if Nico plays, you're probably going to have Bernardo and Reinders in midfield. And that means that Foden's playing potentially right. So I think just a few decisions are going to shape everything. At the back, I tend to think, I agree with you on Ake. Just, instead of O'Reilly, depending on, if the quality that they're going to be marking against. But I think we want to go out and have another clean sheet. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start Gvardiol, Kuzanov and Diaz against Napoli, and we see a few of the defence stay in for all three games. So I think they've probably got more chance. Doku, I'm always a little bit worried. He's quite a solid player, so he's prone to muscle injuries. So whether he probably wants one of those games off. But we got Bob coming in.
And then the opposition boys, I mean, it'd be nice to see Kevin back, and hopefully he doesn't do anything against us. But your worst nightmare is McTominay has the game of his life, the bastard.
Or Højlund.
Oh, God.
Is Lukaku still there as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Jack Kelly was there as well? Yeah, I don't know. It's an intriguing matchup, I think, Napoli. I don't really know what to expect. I suppose in a way we also probably don't really know what to expect from them. And you can only take domestic form with a pinch of salt, I guess, because once you get in European competition, it's a whole different kettle of fish. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it is. The only problem I have is whoever at UEFA's idea it was to have us play this on a Thursday, knowing full well we've got Arsenal on a Sunday. Give your head a wobble, because that's just absolutely ridiculous. That.
Yeah,
absolutely, mate. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they play tonight, Arsenal? They got 2 games. They got 2 days on us.
Yeah, they play tonight.
They do. Are they? They play. Is it Bilbao away?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose away. Yeah, no, but I mean, still, it's like I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Yeah, it's bizarre.
You know what? As I always say to people who complain about how unlucky the fixtures are, you start at the same time, you end at the same time, and you have to play the same amount of games. So anytime you're having a 2-day, if you're having it worse off, it means you're getting it better off next time because you still got to play the same games. Like, you know, when you see Arsenal fans are the masters of this. They'll see the league fixtures and they'll whinge about how unlucky their fixtures are. And you're like, you're playing every team home and away, starting and finishing at the same time. How can that be unlucky? I mean, so I don't know. You know, it's
big up Adam Quinn and with the 22 months. Thanks very much, mate, for all your ongoing support.
I'm emotional. I mean, this is a dream come true. All these guys deserve. All these guys around here.
Yeah, so big shout out from Rodri. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I think we should have Chris Wood doing it for Adam Quinn. He'd much prefer if Woody in his Kiwi accent was doing it, to be honest.
Hey, Rich, I don't think you haven't been on since for 2 weeks, mate. We need to talk about that Socceroos fixtures. I mean, you want to talk about Chris Wood. I mean, the Socceroos only kept him to 1 goal for 180 minutes of football. You know, you want to talk about Kuzanov. It's like, mate, why haven't we got our lads up playing centre back for City? Sign them up, mate. If they can keep Chris Wood down to 1 goal in 180 minutes, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he might be taking it easy when he's down here with other things in mind.
Well, he shouldn't.
I see that that one Mata just signed for Victory, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, if they don't go to Turkey, they end up in the A-League. But yeah, it looks like one Mata, former Chelsea player and rag. Yeah, he played a season at the Wanderers, and he's just signed. He's just signed at Melbourne Victory. So, yeah, disappointing because if anybody knows, I'm actually
be fair.
In terms of it, yeah.
I always hated him, so that's all right. Plays for Victory. Hate him again.
Yeah, true. No, I agree with that as well. I'll tell you what, but we just don't want him scoring goals against Melbourne City. That's all.
Yeah.
Melbourne needs to get Balotelli, and that's
Can I ask a question?
Those rumours haven't gone away either. There is it's still around. It's still around about Balotelli coming to Australia.
Before Melbourne City came along, was you a Victory fan?
Me?
Yeah.
I went to.
Was you a Victory? Because Melbourne City wasn't there, was there?
Hang on. In 2007, I arrived, right, and I was working at a company with a GM, and there was a guy, a mate of mine, who was from England, from London. I said, is there any football over it? He goes, yeah, the Melbourne Victory. Come with us at the weekend. And my first game was against Brisbane Roar against Melbourne Victory. It was then the Telstra Dome, right? And and Danny Tiato was playing for Brisbane Roar.
That's right.
And and he got booked in the first 10 minutes, typical Danny Tiato. And then after about 70 minutes, he got booked again and didn't get sent off. So he had 2 yellows, and the referee forgot to send him off. Right? This is just
he's done a Craig. What's his name?
I was laughing, thinking, "This is gold. This is typical Danny Tiato." And I went to watch Victory only every now and again, but not every now and again, not all the time. But then there's only one team in Melbourne at that point.
That's right.
I'd go and watch them, and they had a big crowd. But then obviously Melbourne Heart came about, and because they played in red and white, and it was full of Liverpool fans and Man United fans and Arsenal fans, I refused to go and watch them.
Totally agree, Alan.
And then when Man City bought me, the front page of the Herald Sun, right, was a picture of Sergio giving it this one as he scored that goal, both sides. So I obviously said, right, as long as they change the kit, I'm going. And then if you remember, New South Wales, bullshit, typical Australia. Yeah, refused to change the kit. They said, you're banned, you can't wear red. The sky blue is New South Wales. And I was like, fuck it. And I remember speaking to Brian Marwood in the Imperial when he was over. They couldn't believe that New South Wales do that.
Stop name dropping. Why are you name dropping?
No, it's
Why is always name drop? Brian Marwood.
It's Sydney
I was having a chat with Spencer. I was having a chat with Brian. Brian deleted your number and blocked you years ago.
But I'm with you, Martin. I'm with you, Alan. Melbourne Fixture was the only team at the time, so I was the same. When Muscat was playing, do you know what I mean? And then obviously Melbourne City come along, and then you had to change because you couldn't support Melbourne United with that red kit. There's no way. But it all changed.
Yeah. Now for me, it was just bad timing because if the Wanderers had come in, I think about 2011 or 2012, and the only reason I started supporting them was because I'd been to Sydney FC games previous years and I hated it. Like their fan base is very I'm not going to say racist, but they do seem to be, like, from my experiences, they've been a bit prejudiced. We've encountered some fans that had problems with certain mates of mine that I went to school with who are of certain descent and things like that. And we always made it a promise that if we ever went and watched Sydney FC, we'd support the other team. So when the Wanderers came in and they were like a melting. The great thing about what Western Sydney Wanderers were is, first of all, there's a lot of talk that people believe that Western Sydney is like the spiritual home of football in Australia. You know, Tim Cahill comes from there, Lucas Neal comes from there. The first ever professional club, which was Western Sydney Football Club, is in the same area around the Parramatta area. So there's a lot of history to football in Western Sydney. And to be honest, a lot of belief that actually Western Sydney should have been one of the founding clubs when the A-League was formed in 2004, I think it was. I'm not too sure. Rich, do you remember what year it started?
What, the A-League?
Yeah, it was about 2004, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe even. Pretty. I got here in 2002, and it was pretty soon after that.
Yeah, it was. It would have been somewhere around that time, anyway. But the thing for me, and like, you know, when it came in, what I loved most about it was it's very not segregated, but a lot of the clubs, a lot of the professional clubs around, like the New South Wales Premier League, are sort of very the heavy ethnic bases in that too. So you've got like Sydney Olympic, which is mostly Greek. You've got Sydney United out, you know, in the western suburbs, which is all Croatian. So it's all a big melting pot. But when the Wanderers came in, they invited all those fan bases to come in together as one. And if you ever get a chance to go out and watch Western Sydney play, it's one of the most fantastic, multiculturally diverse sort of sporting experiences you can actually have. It's not the same as it used to be when it was at the old ground, old Wonderland, which used to be the old Pertex Stadium. You know, they used to get 17,000, 18,000 sellout every single weekend there for match days, and it was fantastic. Since they've redone the stadium, it's just not quite the same. You know, I'm sort of getting vibes to, you know, similar to like West Ham leaving Upton Park. Obviously, you know, they've got about 100 years of history, but you can tell, like, you know, your team doesn't have to be around for 100 years. If you develop a soul in the place that you play in that, you know, you can kind of lose it if you start going to like the big constructions, the big stadiums, the big monstrosities and things like that. But that was part of the reason why I chose to support the Wanderers in terms of my A-League club over here. But then it was probably a year or two after that. That was when Melbourne City basically came in. So I already made my choice. So for me, it's always like Melbourne City has my support, but I'll never be a fan of them.
Gonna get up because I'm on the plane early in the morning. So I'm gonna go to bed.
See you all.
See you all. Take care, mate.
Take care, mate. Safe travels.
Hey, mate. All right.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, I must admit,
I can't watch the A-League myself. It's too slow.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, mate. But yeah. No, well, that's what it is.
I think if I was tempted to support anyone, it would probably be Central Coast. Because I reckon all the Sydney and Melbourne teams are a bit up their own backsides, if you ask me. They think they're. Whereas I quite like Laurie McKenna and what he did up there with, you know, the shoestring, even compared to A-League, which is shoestring anyway. So I quite liked it when he gave a few times. They gave a bloody nose to Sydney teams and to the Melbourne teams, and so. But I can't say I pay particular attention to it, and.
We also like Central Coast because it's a good away day too, Rich.
Yeah, the international,
it's a very good
the whole international club model. I don't really feel an affinity that I'm going to go and support a team in another country just because City own shares. I might be interested in them if we've got a few players on loan there, but you know, I won't support a team just because they're owned in the same ownership group.
But saying that, but they have changed the upgrade. That's Melbourne City. I think it's in Epping. The training grounds and all that are just so really good, top notch. Do you know what I mean? So they pump the money in there. Everything, all the nursery clubs, they've actually pumped money into them all anyway. But yeah, they've got in Epping, I think, the training ground, and it's top notch.
That's down in Dandenong, South Dandenong or something, isn't it?
Epping's more.
Yeah,
I can't remember now, to be honest.
I know it's a bit out of the way from downtown Melbourne, but
yeah,
that's just proof that it's not just like a Manchester City thing that we're doing with these academies as well too. Like I think New York City's in the process of trying to form one as well too. You know, to coincide with the new stadium they're moving into in about 18 months' time. Who else was there? I'm sure we do some sort of academy work with Japan with Yokohama as well. Although, as we know, part of the City Football Group, our ownership isn't as significant there as it is with other teams. But you know, just what we're doing with all these smaller clubs in Europe, like your Lamels in Belgium and Palermo and things like that. Like, it's not just about like these feeders, these satellites as well that we can utilize. You know, loaning players out as well too. It's going to make scouting a lot easier, a lot more direct, and you know, make business a lot easier for us as well too. So, you know, people might worry about us ruining football or trying to dominate football or take over. I just think it's a really smart business platform. You know. But at the same time too, it's also giving young players a chance of having a career as well, because we're not only just developing their football game, we're actually teaching them how to become men as well. So Stacey's just said, Mark, that it's in Cranbourne.
Cranbourne. I thought it was Epping.
Yeah, but it's a business model. But I'm a City fan, not a City business lover. So you know, at the end of the day, you know, that goes on, and the better you run your business, the more money you're gonna have for good players and good coaches and everything else. But and it's kind of interesting from the political side, looking at the money in football and you know the games played, but you know it's still about the players on the pitch. And
can I give you some useless information? Did you watch? You can laugh at this. Did you watch the inside
our next trivia night?
Inside City when Donnarumma arrived on his private jet in Manchester? When he stepped off the plane, he had his son in his arms, right? And then his wife or partner came after him, and she was holding a dog. And as soon as I seen her holding the dog, I thought, I had the old Johnny Depp vibes. Was that illegal? You know, you remember? You would remember, because Johnny. If people don't know, Johnny Depp sneaks his dog in.
Yeah, he's two dogs. Yeah, Pistol and Boo. I remember that now. It was Pirates of the Caribbean they were filming, and I think he was actually staying at Michael Doohan, the former 500cc world champion, motorbike champion. Yeah. He has a ton of properties that all these celebrities rent and lease out up in the Gold Coast area. And he was staying at one of his houses. And they snuck it through without declaring it to quarantine. And then
didn't see the dogs, but then paparazzi took pictures of the dogs in the window in the apartment, and that's how they sneak.
No,
but I was just when I seen Donnarumma's missus, I thought, "Ooh, what's going on?" Unless UK have got different quarantine rules, I don't know.
Yeah, mate, I reckon they've got a dog passport now. Dog passport for the UK and Europe.
Yeah, you know what? Hopefully, this takes me back to one of my favourite City players of yesteryear.
But you were going to say one of your former girlfriends,
Gerard Vikins. When Gerard Vikins signed for City, he used to go from the training ground to see his dog, because his dog, when he signed, was Golden Labrador, had to go into quarantine in Manchester for about 6 or 8 weeks. And Gerard Vikins would go from training to go and see his dog every day. And he said the hardest thing about moving to City was not being able to get his dog back home until after it.
Isn't that what Mark Crosley said on those stories about Brian Clough, where he said some of the players, rather than running around the pitch to get match fitness, used to send some of them out to go take his dog for a walk.
Yeah. He used to get the young players go and walk his dog. You've heard the story about Mark Crossley when Mark Crossley was made to go and play in goal in the Sunday League.
He played it.
Yeah,
night
the
before
day
he
after
played
playing in
Coventry.
the first division. Yeah. So he's playing in that game, and he said Cloughie was on the next football pitch throwing a stick for his dog and looking over.
Yeah, no, he was at the other end of the pitch, that other pitch, yelling out "shit owls," and he actually distracted him to the point of where Mark Crosley conceded a goal.
Well, the classic was as well. The club got fined for fielding an ineligible player in whatever it was, like Division 9 of the local league, and he took the £50 fine out of Crossley's wages 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
You imagine these days.
Oh yeah.
Because the funniest one was after the game, the Coventry game. Crossley had said to Clough, "See you Monday, boss." "No, see you tomorrow morning. Bring your gloves. Barb will have a cup of tea for you.
My house.
It would help if you bring your fucking gloves as well."
Yeah.
And he gave him his daughter's
Jose,
child.
this is what happens when we don't do out. What was that? We talk dogs and do Brian Clough. It's not a fucking issue show.
Do you know what?
Martin,
you should listen to the podcast where they interview Crossley about Clough. It is absolutely fantastic. It's got some of the
You
funniest
sound like
stories.
a grandpa. Grow up.
I'm just glad when the Alan's not on when we talk about immigration.
Yeah, we're not modern glory fans like you, Martin. we're old school.
What do you mean modern? Modern glory. I am a modern glory fan. Oi. Anyway, we'll start.
I am a very modern glory fan.
In a few weeks, we are starting Manchester City history show.
Oh, nice.
Wait for that one.
Yep. And that's part of the reason why we wanted to get you on, Macca, because some of the stories that you've been sharing with us for so many years, as a member of the Sydney Blues, and we thought we'd
He's
love
heard
to
them
get
all
you on
before
here.
from me.
What?
So Pat gets some double. He gets some from you, and then gets some off me.
Yeah, I get him from a different angle. Yeah, different perspective.
I just told you about Simon Colosimo and Simon Colosimo and what I think of him.
I think he knows that you don't hold the Aussie Blues in that high regard.
Do
and that's where I think you've been lacking for a long time, Martin.
No, but I mean, you give me two. I'll give you Oldfield, and I'll give you Seattle. I'll give you them. You can have them. You can have them. But you are not having Danny Allsop, Simon Colosimo, and Jason Van der bloody shit.
Yeah. You know why you don't like
You're not having them.
It's because Pat said you were the
Jason Van der Blurk.
Because I was what, Rich?
Didn't you say Martin was the Jason Van Blurk of the Mancunian way?
No, I said he was a Jason Van Blurk of football content. I'm sure it was something like that.
Ow. That's my YouTube career down the drain.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Could be Barry Conlon, so it's all right.
How are you going to build a podcast around City's history when we haven't got any history, mate?
No, we're doing all right since 2008, Macca. You know what it is.
No, but we have no history. That's what I keep getting told.
Yeah, the show's not going to be long, is it?
No.
Well, from when I became
it'll just be a seasonal thing. We'll just come in once every 3 months. Yeah. Just got to wait for that history to build up.
The difference is with most Blues, they know their history. So all these goofs that you've got no history, they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue what this club's about.
That's right. This new generation.
Yeah, I did laugh. There was some United fan before the derby putting up a post about history of football. 2008, you know, when we won the treble, City weren't even invented. And then someone had just posted a picture of Darius Vassell, Kiki Musampa, and Giovanni, I think it was, at home. Just showed a picture of them celebrating their goals as we did the double over him in the derby that year.
That season, he picked the wrong season.
Giovanni didn't play. Did Giovanni play the same time as Kiki?
In the home game that season, I think he got the winner, didn't he? 1-0.
Sure he did.
And then
Thought Kiki was signed on the pace.
Speaking of Kiki Musampa, did anybody see in the news the other day? He got
was
nicked
it not?
for,
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking about Penza or someone. He scored.
Yeah, you're thinking of Emil Penza. Scored at St James's.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of it.
Didn't he get jailed?
Yeah, it looks like he's been jailed for tax evasion. Something like he's avoided something like over 150,000 euros in tax or something. Yeah, so he's mudded at the moment. Yeah.
Which is apparently okay if you're a former Manchester United manager, but if you're a former Manchester City player, you're going to go to jail. Just saying.
Well, Mackie, you know what's funny? It was like the news came out saying like the news was posted as former Manchester City player done for tax evasion, and he did one season on loan. When his longest spell, 3 years at Ajax, 2 years at Bordeaux, 4 years at Malaga, 3 years at Atletico, a season at Trabzonspor, a season at Alkmaar, a season over in Korea. But it's because of the loan spell in City and that's why he's
Gardino was always at City
JMCFC's got it. JMCFC's got it. We're creating history.
That's true.
Galdino, remember him?
Yeah,
Galdino.
He was good for the 2 games.
Unbelievable.
A few more than that.
Do you know that's when we played games on Good Friday. Remember, we beat Liverpool on Good Friday 2-1.
Oh,
I can't
remember. When was the last time we played on a Good Friday that you can remember?
I think that was the last time we played on Good. I think that was the only time we played on Good Friday because we used to play. Remember, Easter was Good Friday and Easter Sunday you played on.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
So what year was that? Sorry, man.
93 or 94.
Wow. Okay.
No, it might have been 95.
What about Boxing Day? Because they seem few and far between as well.
Yeah, that's gone now.
Yeah, although they did come back a little bit coming out of COVID because it was just weird fixtures left, right, and centre all for 2 or 3 seasons. But yeah, you just don't see it, do you?
Good Friday
it's going to be the first year. This will be the first year thinking, God knows how long we've not played on Boxing Day. There's been no Boxing Day official fixtures.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day the same. Now we don't play on New Year's Day.
No, we don't.
JMC said
City were always away on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Jesus. That was when Rich
the
was
worst
alive.
one.
That was when,
The worst one was when they played a couple of games on Christmas Eve. Like I remember saying a couple of years ago, Chelsea played at Wolves, didn't they, on Christmas Eve in the afternoon, and there wasn't any trains back to London for the fans. It was like, totally.
Oh, was that fixture they played about a season or 2 ago?
Yeah, Christmas Eve afternoon.
Yeah. I remember that now because that's right, because I was coming back from Saudi Arabia from the Club World Cup.
Yeah, you play on.
I was on
Boxing
Emirates
Day,
and they had it on. They had it on the live TV on the way home. Yeah, I remember that because I got home
Christmas
on Christmas
Eve,
morning.
Christmas Day off, and then you play on Boxing Day.
That's right.
My favourite ever game was Boxing Day when we beat the Scousers 1-0. Clive Wilson. They should have won about. They should have probably won about 10-0, I'd imagine, and they were like at their absolute peak because that would have been about 86 or something. And we beat
one centre Van Boyten days. He was all right for us, but I thought he got better when he went to Bayern. It's kind of like Boyten.
Daniel Van Boyten.
Yeah. He was all right.
He was amazing.
No, he was all right for us, but when he went to Bayern Munich, he was a lot better. It was kind of like Jerome Boateng.
We got him on loan from Bayern. The only reason we got him on loan was because basically he was getting over a long-term injury.
Yeah.
And Bayern wanted him, and we said we'd take him. And I don't even think we had the money to even make that offer, as I believe. And I remember, was it the 4-1 when Wright Phillips scored that absolute worlder? when it came off crashing off the crossbar.
No, wasn't that the year before? Wasn't that the year before?
Sure, that was.
Because I think that game. I think that David James was in goal that game. I think it was Robbie Fowler and Trevor Sinclair. I know scored one.
I think it was 2-7.
Well, could have been.
I think
Mac had scored in the 4-1, but it was the following year we won 3-1. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. He didn't come from Bayern. He came from Ham. I'm sure he was between. He played for Marseille.
He definitely went to Bayern. I don't know if that was go back to
but
Bayern.
It wasn't
or went
after
to Bayern
City.
after us. After us, he went to Bayern. Yeah.
I think he was coming to the end of his contract at Marseille, and he played for us. And then he signed for another German team, but it wasn't Bayern. It was like Hamburg.
Anyway, you step
that one in the chat. Sorry, Martin.
Yeah.
It was that Fanny G in the chat. I think I was at that game. It was at Oldham. I think it was Good Friday.
Yeah.
Oldham were playing Chelsea at Boundary Park, and United and City didn't have a game because he said it was bedlam. And United, for some reason, it was very rare. United and City didn't have a game. I'm sure it's the same one, and everyone went to Oldham, and it was chaos. Yeah. I always remember that.
So this would have been early mid-90s, wouldn't it? So because I can't remember what season it was. I think it was one of the first seasons of the Premier League. Oldham stayed up on the final day or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they had Chelsea in the FA Cup or something like that.
It might have been the first Premier League season, Martin. I think definitely the first or second.
No. They survived the first one.
Yeah,
they went down when. Yeah, 93, 94, I believe they went down. They went down the same year as Swindon. You remember when 4 went? It's when 4 went down. 4 teams went down.
It was very rare we didn't have a game.
In the Premier League when we had. We had 20. There was 22 teams in the Premier League.
That's right.
One and only year.
That's a crazy day. That Jesus, crazy.
More recent fixture that was at a weird time was remember this one. We played Palace in the Centurion season. That was when we Palace stopped our consecutive win streak. Edison scored. I think Edison saved a penalty in about the 89th minute. I remember that game because I think it actually was on as we were bringing in the new year here in Sydney. That was an awful time. That was an awful time to do it because you want to celebrate New Year with your mates and that, but then Happy New Year. No, sorry, I'm watching this. We get some bloody inconvenient times here sometimes.
1-30 being one.
It's rinse and repeat this weekend. I think Arsenal we again 1:30 on a Monday morning. It's not going to be good.
That's right.
I've got to say that, I'm happy Champions League back because I do enjoy the morning game. I do enjoy the breakfast matches more than I do the night matches now. To be honest,
5 in the morning.
I mean, when everybody's together, out on a Saturday night having fun, that's fantastic.
That's all right.
I just like the morning games. I just like getting up early and just making a day of it.
So how many of you are in Melbourne? How many of you in Melbourne? Are you all in Sydney? Are you all in Sydney?
No, Martin. I used to be in Melbourne. Alan's the only one in Melbourne.
Alan's the only Melburnian, Martin. Yeah, so you've got 3 Sydneys,
the banana
3 Sydneys and 1 Harvey Bay.
I'm in Queensland, yeah, and they're in Sydney.
Yeah, Martin. They're known as banana benders here.
Yep,
that's what they do for a living.
He wants to care, but we also know deep down he won't do the 24-hour flight. So, yeah.
You know, Martin, my first job over here, Martin, when I first came over, I got a job as a koala poker. And you know what I had to do was I got a job on Sydney Harbour Bridge. And the nicknames are Drop Bears, right? So there's a lot of car crashes on Sydney Harbour Bridge. And my job was, I had a big pole. And my job was, every time you seen a koala nodding off, I had a big pole and I had to give him a nudge, keep him awake. So there was no crashes. It was a koala poker.
Saved a lot of lives, you did. You saved a lot of lives.
Yeah. Look, Governor, at the end of the day, mate, I would have just taken the farm work down in Griffith to get your sponsorship. So I don't even know why.
And you know what I tell I tell the Aussies, what did you do over in England? I said, well, remember the Falklands War? And this is a true story. When in the Falklands War, I used to go over there, and then what used to happen, there's a lot of penguins on the Falkland Islands, right? And when the jets used to fly over, the penguins used to go like that and used to watch the jets go over, and then they'd fall over and they couldn't get back up again. So what you had to do was pick them up and put them back up again. And that was the job, just keep picking the penguins up. Because they were looking at the jets that flying over. That's what I tell you. Just picking penguins up all day.
I told you the idea of having the show, Martin, was to offer a left wing, just a left field perspective on being a City fan.
But saying that, truthfully, Martin, I was only around the corner from you because I worked at Dean Lane Depot. That's where I used to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was on British Rail for 15 years.
You know, he worked on the railways up your way in Queensland for a time. Tony Coleman. He after he left City, he kind of went a bit AWOL. Didn't want anything to do with fame. And Tony Coleman, he lived up there and somewhere north of Sunshine Coast, I think.
Okay.
Knew a few people in Sydney who knew him when he first came over, but I think he eventually left and moved to Thailand or something. But he was a real recluse. After being such a talented legend, he kind of disappeared off the map.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember.
Right. I'm gonna love you and leave you, Aussies.
Yeah.
I've got a show.
No, that's all right, Mark. We're probably going to wrap up here in a couple of minutes anyway. But
Martin, I'm not Aussie.
Yeah, if you want to go. Yeah, well, I know I can tell that. Oh, I know Rich isn't really Aussie.
I've not had the operation.
There's only Pat who's got troubles.
Come to think of it, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'll be live on Hussam's channel at 2 p.m. Blue Pill, Red Pill. If anyone wants to come and watch that, support in the comments. I'm going to wind the gal up about Arsenal next week. That'll be a fun
you might as well.
Yeah.
I might as well. Anyway, smash those likes. See you all later. And I'll see you either later on or tomorrow, stateside. Bye.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, guys. Yeah, well, look, we'll wrap up shortly. James CFC just said, is Tim Cahill still in Sydney? He's a Sydney lad, born and raised in Sydney, but I don't think he's here right now. I'm pretty sure he's doing some punditry work or probably still working with English football in some media aspect in over in the UK. So he spends time here, but I think most of his time is spent over in the UK at the moment. Yeah, but I think we'll wrap it up, guys. We've been going for about 90 minutes anyway, so it's getting a little bit past our bedtimes here. Big up to everybody who was involved with the channel, of course. 16 episodes now, Blues Down Under. Really happy with the way things are going now. Loving all the new faces that are coming in, whether it's in the chat, whether it's in the panel here as well too, and really excited with the way everything's going. As I mentioned before, guys, we will continue. It's going to be Blues Down Under versus Stateside Blues Tuesday, October 14th, when the Socceroos are playing a friendly against the United States. So it'll be our American friends, City fans, from the other side of the bigger pond, up against the Aussies. So please keep an eye out for that. We will have more details for you as it gets closer to the date. But apart from that, I believe Thursday night chat will be probably shortly after the Napoli game, which will probably be a bit of a post-match dissection of our opening game in the Champions League. So keep an eye out for that anyway. But we'll leave you to it anyway. Big thanks to Rich, Aussie, if you're still there, mate. I know your headset's playing up, but big thanks for coming on as well. Governor, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. And Macca, first time, mate. Definitely not the last time, mate. We look forward to having you on a bit more regularly. Your insights and your perspective is always welcome on here. And we're absolutely chuffed to bits to finally have you on here, mate.
Thanks, mate. I hope I can live up to expectations.
No, it's been good
Got
so
a few
far, mate. Always.
tales to come through in when there's a less hectic week of football. I think there's a few Macca tales destined to come out.
Yeah.
I'll just consult.
Maybe if we can tail it into that international break that we have in October, we'll see what we can do there.
Oh yeah. I'll just consult legal first.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So I'll never fit. Just very quick. On the first time, Governor, I met Macca. I'd heard of him from a mate from Oldham, but I didn't realise it was him I was talking to. So I started telling Macca a story about Macca because he was in his City shirt and everything. And he stopped me and goes, "That was me." And then we sat on the plane in business class on a plane. I think he was 2 seats behind me, and there's a German guy, an engineer, about 45 or something, just hitting the booze. And honestly, about 2 hours into the flight, Macca walks past, taps me on the shoulder, tells me to look round. And this guy is just absolutely twatted. The next thing he's nearly having a fight with his cabin crew because they've banned him from any booze. Men behaving badly. We were the examples.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah,
That
behaviour and
says a lot, mate. Don't we were the sensible ones.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, guys, look, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, keep an eye out. Thursday night chat. Obviously, post-match Napoli, post-match Arsenal. So keep an eye on everything coming up. Big thanks to everybody. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe. We're well on our way, not just to 8K, but hopefully sooner rather than later we can get to 10K. Everybody's support has been absolutely exemplary, and we look forward to giving you more of what you love, and that's our opinions on Manchester City. So until then, enjoy it, drink it in. We've won the derby. Milk it. If you've got any rag mates, just remind them.
Give it to them.
Remind them to score. Give it to them because they did it to us for years. So any derby win is always going to be a great derby win. So we'll leave it at that. We'll look forward to Napoli and Arsenal, and we'll see you for another episode next Tuesday. As a reminder, we now are on Tuesdays every week now for Blues Down Under. We look forward to doing it all again next week. So big up to yourselves, and come on the Blues. Go on, City.
Take care,
to everyone.
Take care.
See ya.